to. And you are like, these guys are saying, you came here, you promised, okay? And they would come and say, government came here, they promised about this CBA, they say about this agreement, to do ABCD. It's now, you want now to come and tell us about another one. Yet the other ones have not been done. Let me say this. Please, don't go and swear by the Bible here next time that you want to be the President of the Republic of Kenya, because the buck stops with the top. Let me tell you. The buck stops with the president. These things is about how you structure your government. These things is about what you want to be known for. If a CBA has been signed as a head of government, ensure it is done. Don't go and, because that's one of the acquisitions I remember very well. The doctors came and told us, you signed it, but apparently you had no intention to fulfill what you signed. You wanted the pressure to go down. And so maybe I'll return to work formula.
It's all about optics?
It's about lack of goodwill. It's a lack of, you are in government and then you don't know, you didn't know what it was to be the part of executive. And then you discover, wow, instead of just being creative and talking to people, just go commit what you are able to give. Simple. What is leadership about here? It's about just taking responsibility and saying, hey guys, this is what you're able to do. But the pressure comes, the strikes happen, you sign CBAs all over the place, okay? Then you don't fulfill them, another strike comes, then you want to, then those guys told us, no. You have signed already 2 CBAs. First of all, implement them. Actually, don't even talk about the new one. Implement the ones that you have done before. I would say this. And there's something I've seen with these issues on politics and government. Politics is what informs government, because governments are political organizations. But the moment you pick the Bible and you say you are the head of government, please, you must understand, you have to sit down and work. You have to be real. You cannot continue politicking and doing a lot of PR, issuing promises. They will catch up with you. They will catch up with you, let me tell you. Like now, Kenyans have been accused. Unfortunately, I saw that and I watched it rise. I thought, am I hearing right? I watched it rise. Here we are now as Kenyans. Kenya National Bureau of Statistics have brought some figures. Then the president goes literally on record, accusing us, I don't know who he was accusing, of doing social media and all that, and blogging, and talking about the ills about his government. Now, it is KGB that is saying Sha is not working. It's there in the report. It is saying the issues about affordable housing. When you talk about 400 million jobs, KNBS is saying it is Ajafika, it's about 200,000. And we don't know where they are. When you talk about millions of bags, KNBS, your own agency, in charge of statistics, is saying otherwise. But then you come and accuse us that, oh, we are spreading things on social media, oh, we are saying ABCD. Let me ask you, if you are elected, for example, as a head of government, right, and you knew that you are given that chance, why should you be crying about your people 4 years later? I thought you should have done what people wanted, so they'll be celebrating you. So don't blame anybody, don't. You can never blame God or the people of Kenya. It is you who took power. It is you who said you want to lead the country. It is you who made lofty promises. Some of us went there to help you. But you thought, instead of helping you, you thought you don't need us. Issues on humiliation around there and frustrations. And so we said, fine, because it is your government, then proceed on with it. Where are we today, 4 years later? I can tell you all the things we proposed and put on the table. And he said, Mr. President, if only we can do 40%. 40% of what we have gone around the whole government and presented to you will be in another place. But nothing is happening. So we are coming here to tell you, then Kenya National Bureau, the same body we were depending on to tell us, to give us direction, comes and tells you, Mr. President, this is the situation in the country. Then you come and now accuse us of doing things on social media and blogging and propaganda. Where is propaganda here? These are facts. And by the way, we have decided the fact that you want are the ones we are going to face you with. We are going through that book daily, one after another. Okay? One after another. Their own report. Kenya National Bureau of Statistics are professionals. They will not, I'm sure there must be a miss whatever. I think they didn't share the draft, you know? They didn't share the draft with anybody. They just released the facts. Because if they share the draft, they'll be told, manage the numbers. But they didn't. And that's what we are talking about. There's some institutions in this country who still hold the power, the integrity. So my point here is, kindly, for the sake of going forward, once you take over next time, even as an MCA or an MP, governor, senator, women, please, don't come begin crying, accusing your people of fighting you, of doing propaganda. If you didn't know what you, if you didn't know what you are looking for, please research first. What is it to become? What is it to become an MECA or a governor? Don't bring the people 4 years later that these people are full of propaganda against you. You are supposed to be ahead. Actually, people should be celebrated because look here, you have the GSU, you have the firearms, you have the tear gas. You would have everything in government to do what is supposed to be done.
Let me ask, for example, one of the most pressing issues right now is the issue of, and I'm glad Violet mentioned it, the issue of intern teachers who want to be employed. They say it would cost annually around 30 billion or so. Why is it so difficult to implement that, to ensure that these intern teachers are employed on permanent and pensionable basis? If indeed that figure is accurate, 30 billion, we see billions being spent every day. Be it in hiring shoppers, be it in hosting events left, right, and center. We see billions being allocated to offices, key offices here in the country. And at the end of the day, sometimes most of that money is not even accounted for. But when it comes to crucial initiatives, for example, hiring teachers who've been on internship basis or intern basis for almost 2 years, it becomes a big issue that we can't sit down and say today, let us sort this issue, because teachers are one of the most important professionals here in the country. So why is it so difficult to do this?
Let me answer that very generally, and then I go specific a bit. Yeah. Let me tell you the problem with this government. Remember the book, The Problem with Nigeria? The problem with this government is one. Whereas some of us came into it, supported it since 2018, hoping that, wow, we have a man who understands. Because he has been a man on the ground, he understands the cry of the common person and how to empower the whole nation. That's what we believed. Not only did we believe when we were outside, we actually came and tried to help that direction. We couldn't sleep. We were not sleeping every day, coming to think, what can we do? Mining, sports, trade, investments, agriculture, health. Okay? Now listen, unfortunately, we discovered, now I want to answer your question this way. We discovered, we were alone. The kind of motivation by the people in power who we were helping was different from what we were dying to do. It was about, can I make money first? Can my wealth be at par with the Kenyatta family and Moi family? So no, we got lost. Because that was not our intention. It was to serve people. So that's what I'm saying. Money is available for other things. Okay? We go borrow money, loans, literally. We go borrow 5 billion from World Bank to come and dish out for political reasons. We are not together. We cannot be together. We go, you don't know. We go get money until IMF is asking, not anymore. It's not me who is talking, it's IMF. Don't come anymore because we don't understand you. If IMF cannot understand you, who are we to understand the president? If IMF, World Bank, International Monetary Fund, does not understand what's happening in this country, we are not, how can we understand? Because as we have been saying these things, but people say it is politics. Oh, we are talking this way and that way. We know what we are saying because we have been part of this thing. And we are saying this, and I'm saying this here. You cannot keep on saying you have hired 120 teachers. The only teachers hired by this government is 56,000. The 44,000 are not hired. It's so unfortunate. And you're asking a question, what does government exist to do? Simple things, right? In the whole world. One is security, health, and education. Minimum. That is what governments across the world are supposed to do. So when you fail on issues on security, on issues on health and education, we are done with you. Before you tell us something else. And you have asked a good question. Why? The question is very simple. The priorities are wrong.
Let me ask, you've quoted the figure, 56,000, only 56,000 teachers have been hired. Where exactly do you derive these statistics from?
No, what we know, to be fair, 56,000 teachers have been hired since 2022, okay? Now, then they say we have hired another 44,000, the interns, which are not hired. Let's be very clear. Putting teachers around internships, putting teachers around interns and saying them they are hired, they are not hired. What I know, there are teachers which have been hired. What we also know is that the promise was to hire 100,000 teachers every year. So we want to know where the other teachers are. Because that's the promise. I mean, we'll go back word by word from the plan that was there. So yes, there are teachers who have been hired, but the figure they have been giving is 56 plus 44. And we are saying 44 are not hired. So I don't know. Let me ask you, that's why these Labor Day celebrations, they are formalities. Go back and do what you're supposed to do for the workers. Go back and do what you're supposed to do for the teachers. Go back, allow teachers to have their own insurance. Don't push them under SHA. Yet SHA is not working. Simply go and do what you're supposed to do instead of coming for celebrations.
Dr. Mbai, if I'm getting what you're saying right, is that the president is not doing what he promised. The president is not doing enough. The question would be, what would the opposition do today? And let's address issues specifically. For example, on this issue of intern teachers, on this issue of them being employed on permanent and pensionable basis, what would the opposition do if they were to take over power today to address this particular issue? Is this something that can be fixed overnight?
Let me tell you what you are going to do. And there's a question you had asked here. I'll gross it over quickly, then I come to your question. You asked a question, where would we propose government to get money to do 8 programs? That's a very important question. Sorry, I can merge it with that one.
Okay.
Yeah, let me tell you. The problem is not borrowing. I've given an example of how Kibaki borrowed to do the road, the highway. Today, everybody can tell you, even if we are paying for that road, it is worth it because it is spurred economic activity, right? The problem is not PPP. We went through the public-private partnership. It's okay, so long as it is done in an open way, value for money for Kenyans. It's okay to get a company to put their money to do something, but it must be done in a way there's value for money by the Kenyans, not for private interest. The problem we have with PPP, I'll tell you how not to do it. Today, who knows what's happening with Bomas? Nobody knows who is the owner, who does what, how much money we're going to pay. Look at Taranta. We are told it's one of the best sports funds being used, okay? At what amount? 40-something billion. How